What's going on, fam? Welcome back to the channel. I have a New Balance review for you guys today. This is a special edition colorway of the New Balance Furon V7 Pro in firm ground, which is one of my favorite speed boots on the market. It is a boot that I have not actually had on feet for a really long time. Well into last season, I had them on. This is a special edition colorway that is an homage or a celebration of Gray Day. So we'll talk a little bit about that and the kind of the very cool version of this colorway that I'm excited to see in person. So without further ado, let's hop into the unboxing of this boot. So this comes in a special edition black matte box with the silver New Balance logo here. You've got blank sides pretty much with the New Balance in silver, and then this is a normal size 9 US for me, Furon V7 Pro in firm ground, and this is in a gray and gray colorway, US women's 10.5 or a 27 centimeters, UK 8.5, Euro 42.5. So there you go. These are also for those of you who are asking, I'm gonna get this out right away just so there's no confusion. This is the standard width variation of this football boot, of this Furon, because there are no wide fit variations of this particular colorway. I have been looking for another wide fit variation, but I am curious to know if I can break in the standard fit, and I'll let you know with hopefully a 1 month review or however we end up testing this football boot. All right, here we go. So unboxing. Comes in a regular top style, which actually you don't see very often. So we'll get this out of the way, and here we go. Oh, nice. Very cool. How crazy do these look? Oh my goodness. Oh my days rating of 8.9 out of 10. I think they're really dorky looking, but I love that. So 8.9 out of 10. These look, and I forget how lightweight the New Balance Furon is. Holy moly. Okay, let's get these out of the box. I don't think they're gonna come with any sort of bag. Nope, they don't. Okay, so that's it. There's the other one. And then we'll get this down below. Throw this right here for you guys and take a look at these beautiful pair of football boots. So they are completely grayscale, which we'll go over in just a second, but how cool do these football boots look? Very, very unique, very, very interesting. I'm really excited to share why this football boot came out and what this colorway kind of means. So, all right, as you can see from this upper, it looks like a sneaker, especially a New Balance sneaker. Well, that's because this colorway is meant to celebrate their made-up holiday, which is Gray Day on May 12th. These actually released on May 12th, sort of a soft release. They didn't really launch to the public, or at least the marketing materials kind of sucked. They weren't very good, but it's an homage to New Balance's iconic neutral color palette, and that is what Gray Day is on May 12th. So this boot mimics the white mesh base and the suede overlays of all the famous New Balance sneakers. I'll put some pictures up on screen for you guys, for those of you who don't know, but New Balance has a ton of great, very, very famous gray scale sneakers where this lighter gray material is a white mesh and then this darker gray material are suede in different colors, and then you've got the classic N for the New Balance logo there, and then the flying New Balance logo that comes kind of across the upper, which is very cool. New Balance on the back. There's also false stitching here, so these aren't actually stitching in the HypoKnit upper, but these are to further replicate the design of those sneakers, which is really cool. So basically they've just slapped the graphic of a sneaker onto a football boot, which is really freaking cool. And I think it looks super dorky, but it looks so awesome. So for me, these might even be a higher Oh My Days rating. I'm gonna leave it at an 8.9 out of 10, but these are very, very cool. They're super unique looking, and I have not seen these in person anywhere on pitch or in hand. This is the first time I'm seeing them, and they are really cool in my opinion. Very, 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 very dorky, but very cool. So as far as the rest of the boot goes, this is actually just a basic Furon version 7 Pro in the FG variation. We'll talk about sole plate in just a second. This is a fully HypoKnit upper. You guys know that I've absolutely sung praises of this upper material. It is so soft, so malleable, and it is absolutely fantastic. It does have a mesh lining, so hopefully you guys can see the inner lining right there. There we go. So inner lining right where the tip of my finger is, there's a mesh lining right there. And that goes along the inside of the entire upper, which creates this sort of nice, breathable knit material feel. It's super thin, molds to feet really nicely. In the special edition black and gold launch colorway that I reviewed, those were one of my favorite pairs of speed boots. I actually wore those in a game last year against Chattanooga, and they were fantastic. Really, really nice grip into the ground, and just a really comfortable football boot to be in, which is awesome. There's an off-center lacing system with a cored out canopy, which is this little piece right here. You can see they've put gray accent marks to kind of accentuate what this looks like, but essentially it's a, let's see, maybe I can undo this really quick for you guys. So we'll undo the laces so I can show you what that canopy looks like. It's a very interesting word. I don't know if canopy is just sort of yeah, so there you go. So that's that canopy material, which is basically just a more structured form of this upper hypoknit. And so you've got this hypoknit upper, and then you've got these kind of X marks where you can see those little gray accents where that's accentuated. And basically what that does is it gives a much bigger striking surface, and it provides some lockdown. So because this lacing system is so small, you actually get a surprising amount of lockdown with this little cored out canopy system, and it really kind of pulls that kind of the medial side of the boot over to the lateral side and really locks your foot in place, locks your ankle into the back of this football boot, which is actually a really nice feature, which I think is awesome. So I'm gonna tie these up really quick just for aesthetic purposes, but that canopy does do a really nice job of acting as a very nice pingy sensation on feet as well. So when you are knocking the ball with this of your foot, so you're swinging through the ball and you're really getting a nice kind of backspin ping or even a bended ball, this little canopy action gives you a really nice feel and pingy sensation. So for me, this is a great boot for striking the ball, which obviously is awesome for any sort of forward players or wide player. Honestly, it's for everybody, right? So anybody who's going to play a long ball or whip a ball in or anything, absolutely fantastic for that reason. It's a lightweight nylon outsole with chevron studs. So you've got all chevron studs on the bottom. This is a little bit on the aggressive side for me. I would say it's a little bit less aggressive than something like a Vapor, which has those star-shaped studs. Those star-shaped studs for me are, I think, a little bit too much on AG surfaces. These are verging on, I can still handle the chevron studs. They're not my favorite, but they do the job really well. There is a really decent amount of snapback with this football boot. There's a lot of structure through this midfoot area, which is great. And then you do have a little bit of snapback here in the forefoot area, right where the knuckle of your toe is, which is awesome. And then the way that these chevron studs are placed are fairly standard, I would say. There's nothing special about this sole plate, but it does do the job really well, and it does keep, because it's nylon and it's a lightweight nylon, these boots are extraordinarily light at 170 grams or just around the 6 ounce mark. Depending on the size, you might fall, plus or minus a couple decibels in ounces up or down from that 6 ounce mark. These are really, really lightweight. One of the lightest boots on the market, in my opinion. And that's down to this hypoknit being really lightweight, really nice, breathable mesh, plus the lack of kind of BS on the upper. There's nothing that you would not need on the upper, which is great. And then, of course, that really lightweight sole plate, which is awesome. So for me, this is one of the best speed boots on the market, especially if you're on the market for either a lightweight speed boot, a totally comfortable mesh-based speed boot, or a speed boot from a company that's not one of the big 3 brands. New Balance has now come out of the woodwork all of a sudden with the Furon, the Tequila, the 442. In my opinion, that's one of the strongest trios in football boot not marketing, in sort of the football boot market, I guess, right now. If you take the ratings of all the boots of all the brands, New Balance falls, for me, in probably the top 3 if I'm honest. I think New Balance has done just a fantastic job of executing this football boot, especially from version 6, which was already really, really good. It was a really great football boot, very, very popular, and this boot just takes it to a whole new level. This boot is exceptional, and I think a lot of people should pay more attention to these football boots. So without further ado, let's get on these on feet, because number 1, I want to see what they look like, and number 2, I want to see how the standard edition fits compared to the wide fit variation that I had prior to this, and we'll go from there, get some sizing, and I'll kind of recommend ideal size. These are obviously in my 9US, which worked for me last time, but should you go true to size, should you go up a half size, down a half size, we'll get all that sizing correct, and then we'll kind of talk about how these perform on feet, especially in this awesome, awesome colorway, which, by the way, doesn't have any effect on your performance, but very, very cool nonetheless. Let's hop into it. All right, fam, out here at the pitch with the New Balance Furon version 7 Pro. I'm actually gonna take these, this little sticker on the bottom. The sticker says, "The metallic finish is subject to wear, but the boot will still perform to the best of your abilities." I remember this, there you go, hopefully you can see that little sticker there. I remember that from the original Furon, and I remember laughing during that review because I was like, to the best of your abilities. They've nailed it. The boot does not enhance your abilities. The wearing this football boot will not enhance what you already have. You just have to play to your abilities. I don't know if that made any sense. I'm talking gibberish. Let's hop into the on-feet portion of the video. I'm ready for it. I want to try on what the standard width feels like. So I am not wearing any grip socks, by the way. These look absolutely unbelievable in this lighting right now. So beautiful. Love that colorway. Okay, let's get these on feet and see how the standard width fits. My guess is they'll be a little bit tight, and that's okay because they'll break in. But for a 9US, here we go. Not wearing like traditional grip socks. Nike grip socks don't really have that much. Oh, goodness. There we go. Okay. Yes, definitely a little tighter here on the midfoot area. No surprises there. They are definitely pretty snug out of the box. There's definitely a difference between the regular standard fit version and the wide fit version. That's very clear straight out of the box. So if you are somebody with really wide feet but you want to wear the Furon, I would recommend getting the wide fit variation. I will do my best to break these in. I might sell them to a teammate who really wanted this colorway, but that's for them to decide, obviously. Sizing wise, my toe goes right up to the end of that boot. So if you don't want super tight boots, tight fitting boots, like right on the end, I would go half a size up, but I would go true to size for most people just because that'll be the most snug and most barefoot and most raw sensation on feet, which will be great. So let's get this other one on as well. And I mean, they are tight. Again, I think I prefer the wide fit variation just from a basic comfort level, but at the end of the day, I think these are, even though they're pretty tough to get on, I do think these are gonna be totally suitable for my feet. I don't think I'm gonna have any issues breaking them in. Like they'll probably be a little rough at the beginning to break them in, especially in this midfoot area here, down on that lateral side. But overall, the shape of this boot actually fits my foot pretty well, and I do think these are going to be suitable for most people and for me moving forward. So there you go, get my foot in there. One of the things that I noticed right away is there's a lining, a padding that goes kind of right around here in this heel area, and there is a little bit of pinching on either side. That was the case with the original Furon that I reviewed, those black and gold ones as well, and I will say that feeling did go away after a while. So for me, I think this is just a matter of a brand new pair of football boots and getting in them, getting a feel for what they're like, getting your foot to sort of push and break them in as best as you can, and the boot will mold around your foot. So I imagine that feeling will go away. Right now, with the standard width, I'm getting a pretty good amount of tightness on basically from my pinky toe all the way down here where my foot is the widest. Right here across the instep feels perfect, no issues on the toe, even though my toe does go right up to the end there. Other than that, it's just those little pinches in the heel, and then because of the standard width, it's just that issue sort of with how wide my feet are here, is trying to push that material out, but I imagine that that will go away with break-in time, just like the wide fit variation goes. I'm not actually sure what the differences in material are between the wide fit and the standard fit. I would imagine that the wide fit just has a little bit more material so that there's a little bit more volume to the upper. I don't imagine that this sole plate is any different between the wide fit and the standard fit, but nonetheless, here you go, full look on kind of on feet. And I will say they do look really cool. They are a little bit dorky. Yes, they are kind of funny looking once you get up close, but from afar, when, you know, if I step back here and all you're kind of looking at is kind of the light silhouette with a little bit of accent marks with the, you know, a darker kit like a blue or a black or something, they'll be suitable for, I think, all colors of kits and stuff. And they really do a nice job of wrapping your foot and looking really fantastic as well. And I can already feel the material stretching out a little bit. They do feel really nice on feet. I will say the sole plate is pretty aggressive, so pivot power, there's not a whole lot, I gotta be honest with you. So pivoting like this way, once your feet are stuck in on the AG pitches, there's not a ton of rotational angle that you get straight away. That being said, if I was to pivot like this, I'm sure I would get plenty going that direction, and I don't think it would be too much of an issue. But if you are somebody who worries about their knees a lot or worries about ankles and stuff, when you are playing on AG pitches, I might recommend just trying to find an AG version of this football boot that might just keep your mind at ease a little bit more when you're thinking about purchasing a pair of football boots. For me, when I think about AG versus FG, there are very few boots that I can handle the FG model of. I know I do review mostly FG football boots, but for instance, I prefer the GX AG on this pitch over the FG model. Even though the FG model does do a fantastic job of gripping into the ground, I just really like that conical shaped stud pattern. I feel like it gives me a little bit more rotational power and energy kind of moving sideways and stuff. This one, again, is very, very aggressive. I feel like I have a ton of traction pushing off going forward, but the sole plate I think is absolutely adequate for energy return, for grip on the ground and all that stuff. It just might be a little bit too much for some people. So that's all I warn you about the sole plate if you are considering getting this FG pair for an AG surface. If you're wearing this on an FG or a natural grass pitch, you'll be totally fine. So if you play on grass at any point in the season, you'll be totally fine with these. So for me, this is an excellent football boot. For me, this is easily like probably top 1 or top 2 of my choice for proper speed boots on the market right now. I really like these. We'll see how the new Crazy Fast goes. I reviewed those pretty recently. As of the filming of this video, I've been enjoying them in training and stuff, and those have been awesome. So it's just gonna be a matter of whether or not I like the knit and the lightweight feel of these, or the more synthetic lightweight feel of the Crazy Fast Plus. And then of course, when the new Crazy Fast 0.1 and laceless version come out, we'll get a chance to test those as well. But for me, the New Balance Furon version 7 Pro is a fantastic speed boot. It's really one of the top on the market, and I think if you're not considering it, you're doing yourself a disservice, because I think this boot is really nice, wraps your foot well, is really lightweight, and feels like there's nothing on your foot pretty much. So for me, this is a must try if you're on the market for a speed boot. Hope you guys enjoyed that video. If you did, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. First link down in the description box below will be a link to my website where you can find my in-season lifting programs, the in-season strength programs that are footballer specific. Those are awesome. Those are ones that I use 2 to 4 times a week, depending on our schedule here at Flower City, Salt City, and they are absolutely amazing. So you can go pick those up on my website, and then the link below that will be for my new Patreon, which is a way for you guys to help support what I'm doing here on the channel with the boot reviews and some of the stuff off the pitch as well, some of the projects that are coming. So I really appreciate all the support. Thank you guys for tuning in. As always, be awesome. Take care. I'll see y'all in the next video.